So, the last video I did, I showed how to install these. These are the poly bump stops. And they're pretty hard, they're solid. So, every time I hit a small bump, it's like hitting a huge pothole. So I don't have much travel. It looks like right now I got like a 1 inch of travel right there. It's like about an inch away. So it's not much. So, and since these don't give, it's like a really rough ride. So what I'm gonna do is cut them down a bit and see if that'll help. And I can't cut too much because then I might get a coil binding and the shock travel. But the shock right now sits at 20 inches when I put the tire on, and if it can compress down to 16 inches, so I got a 4-inch travel. So if I cut 1.5 inches, I should be okay before it starts hitting the bump stop, I hope. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these off and cut it down about 1.5 inches and see if that helps. If not, I'll have to buy the factory OEMs. They're the softer ones, and put those on. So let's see what happens. And just as a safety, I put a couple of towers under the car, or the Jeep. It's always good to have the towers, because last time my jack failed and fell. All right, let's try and take this guy out. There we go. Oh, okay. That was pretty easy. So now what I'm going to do is, I hate to cut this part, but I'm going to have to, because this has to go inside the, in here in the cylinder. So I'm going to have to cut it from here, from the bottom. So I'll cut about 1.5 inches. Doesn't really matter if it's flat. So let's do that, and then I'll install it. So here's a factory bump stop. Actually, I thought they were the same size, but they're not. You can see the red ones, the poly's really, yeah, that's probably why. Well, I was gonna cut it the same size, but I think I'm gonna cut it a little bit shorter. But you can see that these compress quite a bit. These will like squeeze, they're like a sponge. So, and these don't compress at all. Maybe I should have gotten the stock ones, but I got these. I'm going to try them. So I'm going to cut it a little bit over, shorter than the factory ones, and that should work. I mean, I got 4 inches of travel, so that should be okay. So let's I'll put it on the chop saw or the miter saw and cut it down. Well, I cut it. You can see it's about, I don't know, 1/2 inch shorter than the OEM stock. Well, that's upside down. Let's turn that around. Yeah, about 1 inch shorter than the stock one. So I'm going to install that. I had to do it on the vise with a handsaw, because it wouldn't lie perfectly flat. This rim is a little bit, or this edge is a little bit wider, so it wouldn't lie flat. I was going to get a crooked cut on the miter saw, so I just traced it all around with the marker, and then I started cutting it little by little around it. So it's fairly flat. It's not too bad. So let's go and install this puppy and see how that works. I moved the jack up a bit and place it in position, put some grease on it, and then with the pry bar, I just popped it in place. I just put a little scrap of wood there, get a little more leverage. So it's in, and it's not that bad. I got enough rubber there for it to stop. So let's put the tire on and try it out. See what happens. All right, so now I got, when it's cut, I got the tire back on and everything. and now I got an 1.75 inch space. All right, so that should be plenty of travel, and it won't allow the coil to bind up. All right, and the shock won't go to 16 inches. So that should be good. I'm going to test it out now and see what happens. So I took it out for a test drive, and yep, 1.25 inch did it. It works perfect now. So it's not hitting the bump stops, the top and bottom bump stops. I can notice that the one on the left side, which I haven't done yet, was hitting. So this one works nice. So I guess that's it. But like I said, you got to be careful with the travel, how much travel you have when the shock is compressed. So I had 4 inches, so I only took an 1.75 inches, so there's plenty there. So that's it. Good luck.